A controversial upgrade project at the historic Holland Lake Lodge north of Missoula that sparked heated debate at meetings and led to threats of lawsuits has been called off just over a year after it was announced. There will be no joint business venture between POWDR, a large Utah-based resort company, and Christian Wohlfeil, the owner of the lodge. Wohlfeil told the Missoulian on Friday morning that he is withdrawing his applications to the U.S. Forest Service to upgrade the buildings and will be offering Holland Lake Lodge for sale. He said he's tired of getting threats of violence, for the last 24 years. We've been honored to host breathtaking summers of s'mores by the fire, weddings on the lake and lifetimes of memories that can only be made in Montana, Wohlfeil said in a statement. This summer was different. While we were sold out each night, sadly, my family, our staff and our guests were subject to a deliberate campaign of misinformation. The irresponsibility manifested in anonymous threats, destruction of lodge property, and even death threats. People are also reading. New restaurant, bar opens in Missoula. Letter to the editor. Leave snowball alone. Helena man dies following car crash into Clark Fork River. Lawsuit accuses Kalispell doctor of assaulting woman at ketamine clinic. Chuck Black becomes first Montanan to win federal duck stamp contest. Business buzz. New lunch service at downtown restaurant. Pumpkins for the POWDR. Remains found on Blackfeet Reservation. Positively identified nonprofit to expand behavioral health services in Missoula. Schools authorized camping versus police patrol. Mayoral candidates discuss homelessness. Liz Cheney denounces Trump and Jim Jordan in Mansfield speech amid reports of delays. USPS in Missoula says it is facing staffing challenges. New campaign finance complaint targets donations to Davis's mayoral campaign. Tough old bird. Straight-talking former Montana Governor Ted Schwinden dies at 98. Robin Wall Kimmerer draws big crowd at officials. ID man shot by Cut Bank police. Wohlfeil said the ongoing social media campaign against the expansion plans had taken on a tone that was personal and felt threatening. They took a photograph of my 74-year-old mother's car, which sat alone in our parking area while she cleaned the lodge's kitchen for winter, he said. They then posted it to social media, along with their new conspiracy theories. They've threatened to shoot her through the cabin window. It's enough already. By they, Wohlfeil was referring to people on Facebook and other social media sites posting to the groups Hands of Holland Lake and Save Holland Lake. Bill Lombardi, a spokesperson for the Save Holland Lake group, said he was not aware of any death threats made against Wohlfeil. We do not condone violence, period, he said. And we've told Christian that to his face along with executives at POWDR. We told them if there are any threats, call the police immediately. We told them that. But the bottom line is we don't condone any violence whatsoever, period. We're not about that kind of behavior. Lombardi said he hadn't heard that POWDR was ending its relationship with Holland Lake Lodge until the Missoulian called asking for comment. We're heard inklings of that, Lombardi said. I hope Wohlfeil listens to the community and to the American public as he looks forward to selling. This is public land and not a place for a destination resort. The weekend of October 7th, Wohlfeil and his staff and family closed the lodge for the winter season. We have chosen to take a step back from any proposed improvements to the lodge's facilities, he said. There will no longer be a proposed partnership with the Utah-based POWDR, and we will be withdrawing all pending applications to the U.S. Forest Service. History. Located in the Swan Valley, Holland Lake Lodge was built in 1924. It burned down in 1946 and was rebuilt with the current structure the following year. Wohlfeil started working there in 1999 and took over as owner a few years later. He owns the 9-room main lodge, 6 lakeside cabins, a gift shop, check-in building, a storage shed, a water sports shed, a private sauna, an old lodge, the owner's cabin and a barn. POWDR last year had acquired a partnership interest in the lodge's liquor license and restaurant, but Wohlfeil said that is getting transferred back to him. Wohlfeil does not own the land under the building, which is federal U.S. Forest Service public property. Holland Lake Lodge is a private business, but it has operated under a resort marina special use permit with the Forest Service since 1924. Last September, Wohlfeil announced plans to partner with POWDR to remove 10 aging structures and add 32 new buildings, including a new 28-room lodge, a new restaurant and 26 new cabins near the lake. The lodge has a full, all-beverage liquor license and often hosts weddings and corporate retreats. At the time, Wohlfeil said that he was trying to keep the lodge as a special place for another 100 years. I have managed Holland Lake Lodge for 20 years and it is a truly special place where people have come to recreate for nearly 100 years, Wohlfeil said in a statement in the fall of 2022. However, for Holland Lake to thrive, the resort needs some TLC. This master development plan is intended to preserve the spirit and integrity of what is here, while upgrading facilities so we can share this place with guests for years to come. He said that the rustic, lakeside cabins are reminiscent of structures built decades prior. Wohlfeil said the business is in need of updates to meet federal standards, including expanding accessibility under the Americans with Disabilities Act. He said that his supporters agree that for the lodge to be viable for the next 100 years, the aging lodge needs more tender loving care than can be provided under its current facility model and operations. He said the business turns away thousands of visitors every summer because it's at capacity. Holland Lake Lodge seeks investment and/or a new owner to continue the legacy and transition to the next chapter, he explained. Controversial Wohlfeil's expansion plans were met with stiff opposition from environmental groups and others across Montana. In March of 2023, the Center for Biological Diversity and Alliance for the Wild Rockies, along with Save Holland Lake, announced they were threatening to sue the U.S. Forest Service. Local news lawyers question Kurt Steele as Holland Lake decision-maker Joshua Murdoch. Much of the backlash against Wohlfeil and POWDR's announcement came from the decision of then Flathead Forest Supervisor Kurt Steele to announce the intention to categorically exclude the proposed project from documentation, a lower level of review than an environmental assessment or an intensive environmental impact statement. Steele's decision was based on a preliminary assessment, but after taking public comment and holding a series of contentious meetings, the forest supervisor later announced that he would extend the public comment period. He also said on September 14 that no decision had been made about what type of environmental review would be conducted. U.S. Senator Jon Tester even got involved. In March of this year, he told U.S. Forest Service Chief Randy Moore that the categorical exclusion was a loophole that was bypassing public input. And I'm going to tell you that I would never ever have voted for a categorical exclusion for the purpose of a corporation becoming rich off our public lands, Tester told Moore. That is never going to happen. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than local news. Tester grills Forest Service Chief over Holland Lake Lodge. Joshua Murdoch. Wohlfeil said he was disappointed that people thought he was trying to bypass environmental regulations. He noted that although his permit would allow him to rent jet skis and motorboats and snowmobiles, he's never done that. He also noted that he and POWDR never had any intention of building a ski resort or offering motorized rental vehicles. Wohlfeil also said that the Flathead National Forest operates a campground next to the lodge that is often full with up to 500 guests for overnight and day use, while his restaurant and rooms serve up to 60 guests. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than. He also said there are currently about 16 privately owned cabins on public, federally owned land next to the lake. He said the owners of those cabins benefit from similar special-use summer cabin permits issued by the Forest Service. Wohlfeil said he believes many of these cabin owners were behind the nonprofit Save Holland Lake and the social media campaigns to vilify the actions of the Forest Service and potential out-of-state investment in Montana's tourism industry. He believes there was hypocrisy among many of the people involved in the campaign because Holland Lake Lodge's guests spend a lot of money at a lot of other businesses in the Swan Valley. He also believes people were making a nice profit off Save Holland Lake merchandise and clothing. Wohlfeil, who has listed the property for sale before, said he's already been contacted by a number of interested buyers and will seek additional offers through January of 2024. Any new owner will have to abide by the special use permit issued by the Forest Service. In the event a sale is not finalized and approved by Memorial Day in 2024, Holland Lake Lodge will resume operations with a weekend concert series and expanded day-use amenities, including the bar, gift shop and restaurant. Tammy McKenzie, the deputy forest supervisor for the Flathead National Forest, said she was aware of the news of Wohlfeil's decision. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than Holland Lake Lodge Inc. recently informed us that they will no longer continue a partnership with POWDR Corp. and will be withdrawing all pending applications with the Forest Service, she said in a statement. We will work with Holland Lake Lodge Inc. as they determine their next steps, which could include sale of the business. If sold, the purchaser must apply for, and be granted, a special use permit to operate. We will continue to implement the current permit until there is a change in ownership or control, she said. The Forest Service is working on updating its webpage about the project. Grace Salati, the owner of Grace's Greenhouse and Gardens in Condon, was one of the people who was opposed to the project. She told the Missoulian last year that she believed most people in the area were opposed as well. She could not be reached for comment on Friday. David Erickson is the business reporter for the Missoulian. 0 comments. You must be logged in to react. Click any reaction to log in. Love 0, funny 0, wow 0, sad 0, angry 0. Tags: trade, construction industry, politics, the economy, hospitality, facilities, job market, restaurant industry, sports, tourism, law, transportation. Get local news delivered to your inbox. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. Subscribe to our daily headlines newsletter. Sign up. I understand and agree that registration on or use of this site constitutes agreement to its user agreement and privacy policy. David Erickson, business reporter. Time equals 400 Ms. greater than. Author, Twitter, author, email. Follow David Erickson close. Get email notifications on. Subject: daily. Your notification has been saved. There was a problem saving your notification. Description: email notifications are only sent once a day, and only if there are new matching items. Save, manage followed notifications. Close followed notifications. Please log in to use this feature. Log in. Don't have an account? Sign up today.